This content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. The Better Traders is not a broker dealer. We are not an investment advisor. We have no access to non-public information about publicly traded companies or cryptocurrencies. And this is not a place for the giving or receiving of financial advice, advice concerning investment decisions, or tax or legal advice. The value of investments and the income derived from them can go down as well as up. Investors may not get back the amount they invested, and past performance is not a guide to future performance. What's up, guys? It's me, Moon Papa, and you're watching my weekly live stream here on YouTube. I just realized I goofed up the time, so hopefully this didn't throw a lot of people by surprise. But today is my last live stream before I leave for Dubai. I'm actually leaving for Dubai tonight for the Future Blockchain Summit. Crazy stuff happening. I'm going to be a speaker on the main stage there, which is exciting. I'm going to be there at the Better Traders booth. I'm going to be there with Gareth Soloway. We're going to be at the Dubai Crypto Party. There's a ton of crazy stuff happening. And I just realized I'm talking and I'm pretty sure you can hear me, but yep, okay, all good. So today's live stream, we're going to be focusing primarily on the markets like we always do, but focusing mostly on Bitcoin. A lot of things are shifting and changing right now with the markets. If you haven't already noticed, things are starting to feel a little bit more bullish and a little bit, happy, even though things aren't rosy-posy and amazing right now. So I want to take some time to talk about the markets, talk about Bitcoin, also traditional markets. But before I do, I just want to remind you that these live streams happen once a week. So the fun part is that next week, I really don't know when it's going to be because I'm going to be in a completely different time zone. I'll try to do it at the normal time, but this might change. So I will be in Dubai. I'll probably just be in my hotel room doing this live stream. And then, of course, there's another one coming a week after that, after I return. So these happen for me right now. The typical schedule is every Thursday at 11 a.m. Japan Standard Time, which happens to be 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays for North America. And it would be 7 p.m. West Coast time, again, North American time. So let's go ahead and jump on over to TradingView. So there's a ton of crazy stuff happening. I want to look at BTC. So looking at Bitcoin alone, things are looking very good. There's a lot of really nice stuff happening for BTC. So here's a couple of things, just things that I've talked about before. This is nothing new. I do these again every week. And I want to show you a couple of things. For one, this week, RSI has crossed above this resistance line. And yes, I do chart RSI. So RSI is currently at 43. The peak over here was 42.42. And this peak over here is 44. If the momentum can continue and Bitcoin does move up higher, then this will certainly break above that. So bullish structure is intact for RSI. If we look at volume has been, I don't know how to say it. It's probably not. I love when people use literally the wrong way because it's literally not the right way to use it. And it's not figuratively. So yes, we would say literally. Volume has been incredible. Last week, we saw 52.9 billion USDT traded on Binance. And the open to close measurement is only, you can see the percentage up there, is only 1.3%. 1.3% and 52.9 billion USDT bought and sold, or rather people used USDT to buy and sell Bitcoin. So check out this. The only comparable week that we've had is May 17th after our move down, which started the mini bear market of 2021 in the summer. And then it pulled up. It is fascinating to me when we look at these two candles. Open to close is a negative 25% move in 1 week. Over here, Open to close, it's 1%. What's changed? The price action does not reflect all the buying and selling. And again, if you've been a part of the Better Traders Club for any amount of time, or you've been watching these weekly live streams, I do focus on volume a lot. Many people just skip by volume because they think, whatever, it's just the free indicator that comes with it. Volume is really telling. And this volume, by the way, is not TradingView's built-in one. This volume is the TBT base to quote converter. It is a free indicator that anybody can get. Where is it? Here we go. So you just get it from the Better Traders TradingView page. You just and you add it to charts down here. You hit add to your favorites, whatever, and that's it. So this is fantastic because we can see, and there's a lot of numbers. So I've learned how to read this a little bit better. So this does say 52 billion. I want to actually zoom in on the daily time frame to show you something that's crazy. I'm actually gonna hide this for now. Jump this up. The amount of volume, 1 day volume over here, the biggest spike that we had was on May 19th. Open to close, this candle was negative 14%. Wick to wick though, that's 32%. We're gonna round it up. 32% on this 1 day, 13 billion USDT traded for BTC. Over here, we can see 2 days where we actually, 2 days where we get close to this volume. We still haven't reached this exact volume peak yet. But if we look at this, right here on this day, okay, of course I can't see it. On this day, it was 11.3 billion. And this is 10 billion. That is madness. That is absolute insanity. Especially given the fact that there's nothing happening. Absolutely nothing happening. So why am I making such a big deal about this? I've been talking about this for weeks. We've been seeing volume grow for the last, gosh, it's really been growing since here. The last 11 weeks, we've seen steady trading volume for BTC and practically no price action yet. No price response to whatever's happening. The reason why this is a big deal is because anytime the price doesn't react, but the volume is growing, there's something happening in the background that we just don't see or we don't understand just yet. So I want you to see this. Oh, gosh, okay. And of course, they're doing the trash right now outside. Wow. So I want to show you the volume, especially here on the daily time frame. It has been growing and it has been insane how much volume is pouring in. We're looking at the 30-day moving average of volume. It's greater than our bull market that started back here in fall of 2020 when we saw Bitcoin run all the way up to 63K. The 30-day moving average on the volume is significantly more. We're at new levels for this and nothing's happening. I'm laughing because it's crazy. What I'm laughing about is that essentially we're in this period right here and volume's growing and nothing's happening. Better yet, let's actually go to the Bitstamp chart. And I want to go way back. So we're going to look over here. So this is the bear market. And we can see volumes falling until we get a big boost on our April Fool's pump. All right. So let me go back. Let me go back to 2015 when Bitcoin was still a brand new baby. Again, price is doing nothing. Volume is doing nothing. It's just going sideways. There's no demand until there's an uptick. And then we get some significant volume that matches the buying in the chart. What we're looking at now is completely different. Again, so much demand, no price action yet. This is manipulation, pure and simple. What we've been seeing for the last 11 months or so, 11 weeks, this is manipulation. This is exactly what manipulation looks like, where the price is being pushed down and it's being suppressed for people to accumulate more. I'm actually of the thought that we're going to see an uptick this week or next week. I actually shared this with the Better Traders Club members, so they're well aware of that. I know that my video on Monday that I posted has a different tone to it. That's because I had to keep some stuff for the Better Traders Club members. So the reason why I am bullish on BTC is because there's a lot of stuff happening in the background. RSI is moving up higher. We're seeing this uptick. We're also like crazy similar to 2015's candles. I'll have to go over here. So I took the bars from 2015 ever since we had this big plunge and just copied this exact time frame right here. So all 42 bars, I just copied it and I have it overlaid with the exact same time. So that way we can see what happened. I want you to see how wild this is, that we are in fact doing almost the exact same thing as what happened in 2015. This should not be a surprise whatsoever. This is amazing. So with this in mind, we could see an uptick today. We could see an uptick later this weekend. We could actually break this mold. We don't have to follow this pattern. It's just really interesting that we've done this. So let's go back to that good old concept of my bear market formula using the TBO indicator. And by the way, if you didn't already watch the video, the TBO got an upgrade. So now we have 3 different speeds. So I still use the standard for pretty much everything. I don't use fast or slow that often at all. So here's the deal. When looking at the TBO, we want to identify close longs, and there's usually 2, cross down, open short. This is our formula to confirm a bear market. So it was confirmed back in March 7th. So once that happened, we were able to look back at previous dumps, like here in 2018, to see how long after this candle, after the open short symbol printed, so August 6th. So it took 18 bars, dropped 56%. So when we look at that, 18 bars right here, and it dropped 56%. So we're on target, 54% of our major drop right there. Over here, we're looking at the same thing. We don't have enough data, so we don't see the close longs, but we do have cross down, open short. We're looking at 14 bars or 14 weeks. There's our bounce in the bottom, and here's our capitulation bounce right there. So 52%, 14 bars. When we look at our current day, it was actually 14 bars until we did the same exact thing. We plunged, went about the same amount, 54%, and now here we are. So now with that in mind, we're using the measurements based on the time that the price is below the cloud. And again, the cloud is the colored part right here. So this green part, and sometimes it's pink, okay? So looking at the cloud and looking at all of these, I decided to measure out what did it look like? How long does the price typically stay below the cloud? Now I know that it cuts in right here, but it's only for 1 week and it goes right back in. So I'm counting the whole thing as 23 weeks. This one is 10 weeks going into 2018. This is 19 weeks. So we're looking at 23 or 19. So I'm taking those 2 bigger numbers to plot how long it might take for Bitcoin to go back into the cloud. So right now, we are basically at week 17 of 19. And BTC looks like it's going to test up a little bit higher. I'm looking at other stuff, but I just want to focus on the TBO first, just because I've been sticking with this for the last 4 months or so now, I think. I've been doing this for a while now. I can't even remember when I started these. But the older market, typically it takes a lot longer. Again, that's 2015. That's this bar pattern. Not for us to be done with the bear market and to move up higher, just counting the bars that the price of Bitcoin is below the cloud. Now, the reason why this is such a big deal is that, historically speaking, the last 2 times that the price goes into the cloud, that will start either a big move or a mini move, like we see back here in 2015. I'm of the belief that we're going to see a mini move and then retest again. That would make the most sense. I am picking up on other signals that we could start seeing a big move happening across all markets from about the week of, last week of October to the end of the year. It's possible, but I'm betting on it. I'm not counting on that to happen. So let's just do some simple support and resistance. There we go. Just to check and see where we are. Again, this is nothing super fancy schmancy. This is literally just drawing our support and resistance lines based off of our peaks, and then seeing, and I call this a fan, anytime that we have a touch right there, we're going to draw from the next one to the next peak that we have to see what's going on. So the reason why Bitcoin is feeling bullish today is because we've broken out of this trend line. So we closed 2 days ago. We closed yesterday above the trend line. 2, and now today is the day that we see what happens. If things are going to get bullish for BTC, there are a lot of roadblocks in the way. For one, there's just a quick one right here at 20,700 or so because of this lower wick, because of support here, because of support here, because the TBO agrees right there. So this cluster right below 21 will be hard to get through. Breaking above 22.3 will be hard to get through, again, because of this and this and this, and then it'll be tricky to get through this. Not impossible, but tricky. Now this is just using trends. So let's start to bring in some fib lines just to make this a little bit more clear. So looking at our fib retracement from our top in November to our bottom in June, right now, and let me take away the fan, we have clear tested resistance at our 236 line at 24,2888. So that's good to know, because that means that we have another point of resistance ahead of us. Note where the TBO fast line is. It's just being dragged down like I said it would. In fact, it's actually starting to curl. It's starting to flatten out, which is good. But I also wanted to draw a complementary fib line here, and let me get rid of the TBO so it's clear to see. From our peak here on the 28th of March to the same low. Looking at this, we can also see points of confluence where we see overlaid lines here just below 30K. There's also this point of resistance that was difficult for BTC to break above last week. Or I'm sorry, this would be 3 weeks ago. So if anything, I do expect there to be some resistance here at 22.3 or at 21. It's not impossible, but this is a good thing. Even if we continue to range sideways, this aligns with my prediction that BTC is going to continue to go sideways until the end of this month, or maybe the end of November, but really the end of this month. So far things are playing out amazingly well, like mind-blowingly well. One thing to keep in mind is that we do have lots and lots of resistances up here as plotted by fib lines. So just because BTC is feeling green this week doesn't mean you should go crazy with your longs. It's actually way too late to open up longs. It would have been better back here to open up some longs. So right now is not the best time ever, but note that this is still a great zone for accumulating Bitcoin, at least in my opinion. I'm accumulating Bitcoin in this zone. I'm up on my BTC purchases, which is great. And now I'm just waiting for everything else to start picking up with it too. So let me go ahead and talk about other cryptos, and then we're going to look at some traditional markets. So Ethereum. Ethereum has been looking pretty beaten down lately, in my opinion. On the weekly, it just doesn't look that strong. There's a lot of resistance in the way. Let me get rid of that. It's just not looking that strong, to be honest. If we bring up RSI has been struggling, in my opinion, and it's starting to peak up, but it's not as strong as it was back here before the anticipation of proof to stake migration. So because we had a buy the rumors and sell the news event, now it's trying to rebound, but it's holding this support line, albeit extremely weak and fragile. Not really calling this strong support at all, because our strong support right here was already broken. And now this is essentially a resistance line that matches up with where it will probably get stopped in about 16% from here, about $1,600. So looking at the weekly time frame, again, not really terribly bullish on Ethereum. It's being led by Bitcoin at this point. If we look at the trading volume for Ethereum, again, nothing really amazing or fantastic is happening. So I'm not seeing the demand personally for Ethereum right now compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is definitely leading what typically Ethereum does. Bitcoin is leading, and because Bitcoin's moving up, Ethereum is moving off of that. Ripple, you probably want to talk about Ripple too, or have me talk about it. So I still have not re-entered Ripple. And you may be surprised about that. I did enter Ripple about here, and I exited about here. And I was very, very happy with that trade. And why am I not holding? I decided not to hold because during this time, I saw that it was getting close to this resistance line. It didn't break through. There was weakness, so I sold most of it here at 47. Could it go higher? Yeah, of course. But there is a lot of uncertainty with the court case. So Ripple hasn't been deemed not a security yet. So I'm still playing it safe. Will I kick myself if Ripple goes up to $3? Not really, because I made my green and I'm happy with my profits. I'll be satisfied with any amount of profit. And there will always be another opportunity to make some profits and to trade. So for those of you that feel like you're late to XRP, you could always run a DCA bot, because the truth is that if XRP is going to stay bullish and go sideways and not fall down again, this would actually make a great DCA bot, because DCA bots thrive on negative price action, especially for a chart that's moving up higher. There's a big drop and a recovery. So again, this is a wonderful shape for a DCA bot. This is what your bots will love, and they'll chomp up all that negative price action, yum, 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 and they'll eat it up. Now, if you're looking for something more active, I would not run the TBT signals on this. Those are the free signals that we offer through 3 commas. I would focus basically on something more aggressive. And if you're not sure what to use, I mean, this is why we have the DCA backtester, where you can try out different settings to see what would be the most profitable. Now let's talk about some traditional markets. This one has thrown me for a loop. The SPX chart, which is the index of the S&P 500, this is the one that I've been watching a lot, because this really determines what's happening with Bitcoin and everything else. So if you're wondering, why are things so bullish? Well, it has to do with the XPX and also the chart for the Dixie, which I've talked about a whole lot. So looking at the daily time frame, basically we saw the SPX come down here and land exactly on our, right there, on our line of support. The TBO has a line of support right here. It was once resistance. When it breaks above, it becomes support. So looking at the weekly time frame, you can see it right there. So right now, things are okay. I'm still not happy about this, just because it's fallen so much, and there is a lot of downside potential for this. One other thing that is bullish, though, is that we're actually seeing the SPX fall and bounce off of the 200-week moving average. This is something that I learned recently from Alessio Rastani. He has a fantastic YouTube channel. Cannot recommend that guy enough. He's a great analyst. So we could be seeing a recovery, could be. But we all know the state of the market right now, and the state of basically every country is pretty terrible. So that's why I'm more hesitant to say we're not going straight up into the moon. We're not going to continue our rally. It just seems like a brief respite, much like this did before we fell further. So that's why I'm making sure to take profits on the way up. Okay, so let's take a look at the Dixie. This one has really been on my radar for quite a while. I've been posting updates to Twitter about this specific idea, and this is basically really simple, and this is just overextension. Anytime you see a parabola, which essentially is the price moving up too fast, getting too far away from the moving averages, like back in, even right here. Back here, it moved up not a whole lot, but a lot for this index. It moved up 3% in 9 days, and then it cooled off. Moved up quick, cooled off. Moved up quick, cools off. Moves up quick, cools off. Moves up quick, cools off. Same pattern over and over and over. So we saw the most recent one, and I literally said on the 28th of September, I think we're going to see the Dixie cool off. Now, there are a couple of reasons for that. One, we're just seeing the same pattern. 2, I mean, RSI was extremely overbought. And when I saw it start to drop here on this candle, I was like, oh, okay, it looks like we're going to see that pullback we've been waiting for. And it's happened. So the reason why I believe SPX, like the S&P and Bitcoin and all stuff like that is starting to move up is because there's a little bit of a relief because the pressure has come off of DXY. Now, the arrows look great. This whole concept looks great. But the truth is that we need to be careful. And the reason why we need to be careful is because our 2017 fib retracements are worth paying attention to. I'm actually going to switch to the monthly time frame and you'll see why. Actually, I need to do this. So looking at this fib retracement from 2017's high to the low in 2018, one thing I want you to notice is that we stopped right where we were supposed to. We actually got stalled here. It's difficult to see because it's the 272 and it's a dark blue color. Let me actually just fix that. And then this one, 618, should be bright orange so you can see it. I want you to see what happens to the well, it's not really the price, but this chart. When we see the price get close to the 272 and the 618 extensions, these are typically rejection points. I talk about these all the time in the Smarter Trader course. This seems like it's such an elementary concept, but this is so powerful, you have no idea. So there was another reason why I was thinking we might be cooling off, because we finally inched up to this 618 on the 28th. And that's when I was feeling like, I think we're going to see a little bit of a fall. The reason why I'm a little bit hesitant to be all excited about this is because if I go back to the monthly chart and I go over here and I start to add in the 272 and we'll just put this one 2.618, and we just draw some more extensions out. The thing I don't like about this at all, that makes me quite nervous, is that our 2 is basically right here at the top. And yes, you're reading that correctly. That says 121 over there for the DXY. Actually, it's at 122. If the DXY if the DXY were to continue up just like this in a real short amount of time, it's going to roast. I repeat, roast everything. Everything will tank. The more DXY moves up, the worse things get. You can clearly see the shape of the parabola right now is very extreme, similar to this. Back here in 2014, over an 8-month period, it shot up 26.22%. Right now, we're looking at a 15-bar period shooting up 27 or 28%. So it's a little bit longer than this one, because this is only what, 8 bars, 8 months. So this is considerably longer, but the problem is that it should have stalled out by now. So I'm really hoping that we're going to see a pullback for this. One other idea that we could think about too is we could look at a parallel channel. So we could draw out a parallel channel. Actually, oops, let's do right here. That was the wrong one. Do parallel channel to here. So some people are looking at this parallel channel like this. Let me reset to defaults. There we go. Looking at it, expecting it to have topped out. That's what I think some people are looking at, and they're hoping that one of the reasons as well, again, we have another reason why it should top out, because we've reached the top of this channel. So if we are to see this fall, or at least go sideways, it would allow many markets to rally, including Bitcoin and traditional stocks. It would play out with this whole idea of the Halloween effect and the Santa Claus rally that we're going to see throughout November and December of this year. It just depends a whole lot on what the Dixie does. So that's a lot of information. I'm getting close to my 30-minute mark, so I got to stop pretty soon. But the main things I need you to understand is that I'm not worried. If the Dixie goes up higher, okay, I'm prepared. If it goes lower, great, I'm prepared. The best thing about being a trader is that you learn how to adapt to whatever the market's going to throw at you. If the market's going to be bullish, then you need to change and make sure you're taking profits on the way up, because maybe we're bullish in the middle of a bear market, which I kind of think we are. We're in like a transitioning market, so it's not clear yet. So I'm taking profits on the way up for everything. Like XRP, I took my profits, walked away with a very nice, healthy, happy trade. Not all of them are closing healthy and happy, so I need to make sure to take profits. Another nice thing about bot trading is that, well, not another nice thing, but a nice thing about bot trading is that I can use my bots to start generating more BTC, more USDT, all that stuff automatically. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to manage it. It doesn't have to consume my mind to be, oh, I have to check charts, all that stuff. There are lots of benefits to this, to automating your trading workflow. You still need to apply trading disciplines and trading psychology into what you're doing, but essentially you have a huge benefit by using bots like this. So I want to leave you with that, and just understand that things are looking good, but there's still a chance that we could see a pullback. So don't start rejoicing and getting super giddy yet. And by the way, if you do want to join our community of better traders, I almost forgot. I'm supposed to do this. If you want to join our community of better traders, the Better Traders Club is the place to be. We have a private server. We have tools like the DCA backtester. We have TBD signals. We have the Better Trader Forecaster and the Stop Loss Hunting Alert. Every other week we have a live stream where I have a watch list and all this stuff. There's a ton of value for the Better Traders Club. I highly suggest you check it out. So again, stay safe out there. Stay awesome. And if you are in Dubai next week, well, if you're going to the Future Blockchain Summit, stop by and see the Better Traders. We're going to have a booth right at the front of the entrance hall, right next to Binance and Bybit. I kid you not. And I'll be filming video if I can from the inside there. They have laws against filming different ways in Dubai, but it's okay. I'll see if I can do something there. But stop by. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.